Welcome back to Between Two Cars with your host, Kyle Orr and the Walrus. And today we have a special guest here, Neil Breting with Country Financial.
Yeah,
correct?
you nailed it.
I got it. I always want to say Country Insurance because
Hey, Neil, have him spell it.
Country Financial
Can you spell financial?
is...
Should we put you on the spot real quick?
That's why I have you. You're one of my financial guys. You're supposed to be able to spell. I can sell cars and spell cars.
That wasn't part of my test, spelling, but I think I could swing it.
Right.
Quick introduction of Neil. Neil was in the car business for some time. I believe he worked for
Toyota
Toyota and then
and Chevy with that.
and then over to Chevy.
We all have the same path
Kind of same.
to success.
Yeah. He is the only guy though that I've ever had a car stolen
Yeah.
You know
on
what?
the lot.
He's like my fourth, but you know what's funny is they all have brown hair and a beard. I don't know what's going on with that.
Something
Yeah, but
about
you
us.
didn't have a guy
No, his
like
is unique.
physically in
I know. His
front
is
of you
unique.
steal a
Hey,
car.
here's the keys. Hey, see ya.
No, he drove off with the keys in your pocket, right?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I
did he
put him
really?
inside the car so that he could start it. And then I held on
What
to
kind
the
of
keys.
car was it?
It was an Infiniti Q60.
Brand new.
Oh, this is the one we found downtown.
It was on
You
C
did.
Street.
Well, we didn't find it.
The police did, and they called.
Yeah, midnight that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That was great.
Interesting
tell you
experience,
that-
to say the least.
That was a great conversation with my wife why I was getting out of bed driving downtown Springfield on Commercial Street.
Thankfully, I didn't pick the phone up. I just slept. I slept on that
Let that
one.
sucker ring.
Right. What's that, honey? Don't worry about it. Don't answer that one.
I kind of I gave her some pretense on what was going on and all of that, so she didn't think I was like rendezvousing downtown in Springfield on.
You know what's interesting though? We teach everybody, hey, keep the keys, right? Don't hand the keys over. That's 101 in the beginning when you meet somebody, right? When you're test driving a car. But the technology nowadays,
Well,
throw that out the window because you start the car, you take off. Now they can't stop it because once they stop it, it's done.
Well, man, I'll tell you, there's ballsy guys out there. I mean, they don't even get phone numbers from customers, and
or names or insurance.
or names or insurance, and then
Hey, here's your keys. And then if you buy one, I'm not going to give you a delivery.
yeah.
We don't care.
So
We just sell cars to sell cars.
right.
We don't care.
None of that happens here.
No.
No, don't
We
say
don't-
that. in
we
front of
don't-
the
we don't.
insurance agent.
Yeah, we don't do that.
He's
Oh, that's
our
right.
insurance agent.
That's right. We do it by the book. Hey, folks, we cannot let you drive this without a driver's license.
It's recorded.
It is recorded.
It's on the record.
That is correct.
Take it back.
So anyway, let's talk about you, big boy. So tell us about what you do and everything.
So yeah, as Kyle said, when I was 19, was in the car business. Just decided I wanted to, I guess, have my paycheck reflect the work I was putting in. Salary wasn't really doing it for me. I worked at a bank after high school rather. Went straight to working, skipped college for some reason. Decided bills were a better idea, and
Ramen noodles.
got a job at a bank making $3 or $4 an hour above minimum wage, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. This is the way it's supposed to be. And then I quickly realized that's not a lot of money. So ended up in the car business. Kyle kind of mentored me, and honestly owe a lot of the success I had in that business to you, because when I got there, you were still in finance, I think, and I was kind of floundering, not really knowing what to do. And then you ended up getting back in the tower and kind of took me under your wing and kind of took off. And so I realized what it was like to make the real money. And the only reason I left that industry was the time freedom. You can make the money in that business, and that's kind of what's cool about your guys' situation. You get to kind of do both. But insurance just kind of fell in my lap. It was something that I always thought was a cool way to be able to have the financial and time freedom, and then just honestly probably approached it with that in mind. Probably not the right reason, but after I kind of got into it, it just kind of
you had a
clicked
couple
with me.
You had a couple things that influenced that, right? When you were 19, you were single.
Yeah.
You didn't have a child.
You know, getting 19, 20 in the car business is young. That's hard to do.
Oh yeah.
You know?
And honestly, the hours and the pressure wasn't a big deal
Right.
until I was married with a kid, and
Right.
and yeah, it just wasn't a lot of fun.
Those pesky
spending all my
kids, they
time
get in the
with
way.
them.
They get in the way
Yeah.
of things, don't they?
Yeah, a little bit.
We're not gonna call it the wives, just the kids.
Yeah, it's just their fault.
Right.
but
But they're right though. I mean, we tend to, when you do something like that and you're successful and you're getting paid, commission sales, a lot of people don't understand. You got to be there when the customer's there. You can't just punch a clock and say, "Hey, I'm here at 8:00," and leave at 1 and think you're going to be successful.
Not a
you
9
got
to
to put in the
5.
time. Yeah, you got to put in the time.
And this isn't either. I mean, owning an insurance agency certainly isn't a 9 to 5 either. But
Right.
it's a whole different deal.
But you're your own boss.
Exactly,
And it's the hours. It's the hours
that you choose.
You work longer hours doing your own business.
Well, you're open 24/7 because you're right. But you're 24/7 could be at home at a ball game.
Exactly.
Technology today. You're kind of
don't have
you're
to miss a
available
soccer
24.
game.
Yeah, you're
Exactly.
available 24/7.
I can take my laptop.
When
to
you're working for somebody else, you're
gymnastics.
sitting in a building all day. Most businesses, I'm not saying all of them, but yeah, you're working for that person, and it's just you're kind of at their beck and call.
Yep. But yeah, so that kind of led me to where I'm at now, and like I said, once I got into it, maybe not for the right reasons, realized that I just had a passion for it, and it's just been an amazing experience. Got into it 3 or 4 years ago, and decided to go out on my own a little less than 2 years ago, and it's just been a gigantic blessing doing home, auto, life, business insurance. It's pretty boring to the average person, but for whatever reason, it's
Hey, if you enjoy it and man, I'll tell you, we send everybody to Neil. Right?
That's what I was saying. So I've never really the typically when you do your insurances, it's kind of like, hey, mom and dad had State Farm or whoever, and that's who you decide to go with because mom and dad set you up when you're 16, 17 years old, and you never get to meet that insurance agent because it's mom and dad's insurance agent, so you don't create that. They're just taking in the business. But with you, what I've noticed is even though we knew you, you still came out here. You went through all the different coverages. You helped make phone. The best thing you do, I think, is the personal relationship, the personal the service you get with you, because you'll pick the phone up and beat the other coverages. I mean, that's just what you do. I mean, you're like, okay, hey, let me teach you why your coverage. Like my house was undervalued by a couple $100,000, wasn't it? And something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that much, but it was
I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. No one tell, and you're like, hey, no one tells you that. They don't, and they don't. But
how many people you run into all the time that are undercovered? I mean, I would have to think. And here, I know a lot about insurance, and Matt knows a lot about insurance, right? And I'm in the car business, and insurance is a topic that comes up in the car business all the time, even though we're not agents, right? But I know I can count on one hand how many people I know that you've covered that were undercovered.
Yeah, it's 90%, honestly.
that's insane.
I mean, inflation is obviously unprecedented the last couple of years, and so when your homeowners insurance renews, you're going to see, last year it was going to cost about this if we had to rebuild your whole house, if you had a horrible fire, tornado, whatever it was, and they've got these built-in, probably just to save money. In a normal world, it wouldn't be a problem. Just have your little pre-filled actuary calculation where it's like, okay, you're renewing, let's go up to this. Now it's going to cost $3,000 more, when in reality it's costing $40,000 more. And if that happens 2 or 3 years in a row, then you end up in a situation where you're
let me ask you this. I'll ask a question for the people that don't understand. Why would an insurance agent or company want to undervalue? If I'm your agent, right, and I say, hey, you've got a $200,000 house, and I'm gonna put $100,000 coverage on there. Why would you want to do that?
Extra 100,000, you mean?
No, below. Why are they so far
under?
I mean, how are they becoming under? Is it because of inflation? Everything's happening, okay, and then so at the time
rare,
they're okay.
Yeah, it's rare that an agent would go out of their way and be like, yeah, it's going to cost this, but let's just insure it for this. 90% of the time, it's just they set the policy up with that agent 10 years ago.
And they don't have the personal touch like what you have.
They don't have annual reviews.
And so they're not okay. That's what I want to tell everybody. You got to review your coverages yearly, you would think? Or,
and financial advisors do that. That's a pretty normal thing. But with P&C agents, that's just nobody does it.
Right.
But I do. My company
my other
strongly
insurance
encourages
deal
it. I do it.
I've had for 30 years. He never called me.
Yeah.
In 30 years.
That's unacceptable. I mean,
I'm like, and then I go, and then here's what's crazy. Okay, so this is one of the reasons. I'm glad I went with him. But so we had a hailstorm come in, right, and it, we had to have a new roof, right. Well, so I go in there and I call the guy. He sends an agent out there, and I'm over there arguing with him. He won't replace the gutters. The gutters have hail damage on them. Well, I'm not replacing them. I go, it has hail damage. It's part of The damage on it. I go, how many claims have I had in 30 years? None. No car. Other one, I had one car. It's for my wife. It's not for me, but it was one coverage. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, you know what it was.
Touchy subject.
But anyway, we have had one claim, and then here's I'm arguing with them over they didn't pay it. They didn't pay it. I was just like, well, of course, me just put the old ones on there. Now I'm looking, I'm going, yeah, I should have probably just put new ones on. I'm going to end up putting new ones on there, but they're all damaged. They got new roof and damaged. I look like Sanford and Sons out there. But anyway, that's my point is they don't. You don't have that touch. I can guarantee you, Neil will be like, all right, no, we need to get that covered. Let me make a phone call for you and see what I can do for you. You know, it's damaged. You can see. It's not like I'm trying to cheat. 30 years, no one claim. Come on.
Yeah.
Clearly not abusing the system.
No, I mean, come on. So,
anyway, that's one of the biggest reasons I chose Country, because my experience prior to becoming an agency owner wasn't with Country, and I didn't know a whole lot about them at that time. And the biggest reason that I chose them is the experience I had prior to that. I couldn't believe how often I had to take a phone call where it was, hey, I had a claim, or somebody hit me 2 months ago, or I had this storm come through 6 weeks ago, and I literally haven't heard from anyone.
That's crazy.
And then I call, the adjuster, and they're like, oh, whoops. And I'm like,
now,
what do you mean, whoops?
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I had never heard of Country Financial.
Yeah,
okay. So, but they're not a small company; they're a massive company.
Not at all. Yeah, Country's unique in that sense. They're a Fortune 600 company. They've been in business. Next year will be 100 years. Wow. Started in Illinois back in 1925, and they're just the business model is as different as it could be from your Allstate, your State Farm. The advertising at the national level just isn't a thing, and it's not because they can't afford it. It's because, A, they know they're a mutual company. That expense is going to get passed along to their policyholders, and that's not something they want to do. Rate increases are just a thing already. We don't need to make it any worse. But that's not even why. The reason is they feel like it holds more weight if there's an actual local agent doing local things, helping out the local community. That's going to hold a lot more weight than a commercial that you're paying, the Super Bowl millions of dollars for.
Well, the only two things I love out of Illinois are the Chicago Bulls and Country Financial. Oh. I'm pretty sure I can't think of a single thing that I love in Illinois other than those two things.
Well, they produce a lot of food.
Illinois does?
A lot of farmland.
A lot of farm.
So we like the farmers.
The Illinois Farm
Bureau. I
Bureau.
like the farm.
That's where Country started.
100%.
Okay.
See?
There you go.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Sorry,
right?
folks.
I stand corrected.
We're trying to teach Kyle some things about farming. He knows more about it than I do.
I'm not a farmer. I lived by a farm, but I'm definitely not a farmer. Those guys are brave people.
Yeah,
they work hard. They do.
Yeah, but I mean, Country Financial is about as good as it gets when it comes to actually taking care of people when claim time comes. The rates aren't always going to be the least expensive. They're never going to be absurd. We're always competitive. More often than not, we're helping people with their rate, but.
Well, I think the customer service, I'd rather, as a consumer, and this is what we're trying to do here at the Auto Parlor, right? Mm. As a consumer, I'd rather, price it right. Mm-hmm. I'll pay a little bit extra more money if I get great customer service.
Absolutely.
And so, as long as that happens, I'm good. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're pricing cars right. We're trying to give the best.
Yeah, and if you run into Brad on the lot, you get a little bit better deal usually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Brad Clark.
I'm only cracking him because he's in the background. So.
Good old Brad. So, Brad.
Come and see Brad.
Come see Brad if you want discounts.
Get your Brad coupon.
Right. That's right. Hey, did you guys bring the Brad coupon? That one's going viral right there, buddy.
What do you do this thing?
Yeah, it's a Brad coupon.
We're here to see Brad.
That's the Mahomie.
It's the discount double check.
Oh, that's great.
Oh gosh.
Well, we just made some good ones there, didn't we? Yeah. All right. So, but
hey, I do need to take a quick break for this, and I meant to start off with this, but the Auto Parlor sponsors a lot of charity work. It's a big deal. It's actually part of our business plan to be a part of that. And on May 11th, and the reason I'm asking you guys to do this or telling the world about this, on May 11th, we've been invited to go down to a fishing trip for the Wounded Warriors retreat that they do.
Right.
And so the guide service, the Wounded Warriors guide service, if you all would go on and friend those guys on Facebook.
We'll put the QR code right here, Brecken. The QR code right here for the guide service.
Yeah, so right above Matt is the QR code. If you'll go on there,
Somewhere around
sponsor that thing, and then look for us on May 11th. We're going to try to come up with a fundraiser and raise money for that. Those donations are 100%. They're 100% managed that go right to the veterans. There's nobody else collecting money off of that. So
Yeah, we want to thank the veterans. That's a big deal. They fought for us and are able to let us do what we need to do, right? So that's what's important to give back.
American Dream exists
100%
because of them.
100%. But that's just one of the charities. We'll have several. We'll actually have, I think, our next giveaway. We're actually going to do it live, aren't we?
on the 29th
on
this
TV.
month.
So that'll be a good one. And we got to get Lyle going because we want to bring Lyle out, but Lyle's not ready. Lyle's hanging out in the garage a little bit. He's
He's
I
kind of a
I
garage
I haven't
junkie.
met Lyle yet.
I was
you'll get to.
I was petting Lyle the other day. I like Lyle.
So-
He's my buddy.
Just find a sweet spot.
I just sat there and stroked his fender.
He don't even have fenders on right now.
I'm just like, okay, now.
What'd you do to those fenders?
I seriously, man, I think this is a neat deal. Now we didn't talk about why we came up with the word Lyle. Okay.
Yep.
He's going to talk about that when he's ready to do that. But that's a special thing that we were able to do by opening this store up.
Yeah.
And there'll be some other things like that. And it's just been a lot of fun. And then we get to bring guys on like you, and we had some other guys just talking about. I mean, our last guest was okay. I don't know if you've seen episode 5. I think we rocked the world on that one. But anyway,
That guy seemed kind of angry, though.
he's always angry.
Yeah.
That guy. He's here. Wouldn't you be angry if you had red hair, but you couldn't show it because you're bald?
And a gray beard?
And a gray beard. He's angry.
Yeah.
He's angry. But you know what?
understandable.
He's Santa Claus deep down inside. I'm telling you. He's a big bear.
Yeah.
He's a
Well, he
big
gives the...
Oh, that's right. The Mahomey.
But
I think that's Aaron Rodgers, isn't it? Aaron Rodgers discount. It's not the Mahomey, but we're going to call it the Mahomey because we want Patrick Mahomes on this podcast, Kyle.
yeah, so uniquely enough, with Neil's background is we actually come from my hometown is 25 miles north of his hometown, or I guess it's
Where
really
I was born. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
hometown.
so he's from Chillicothe, Missouri. I'm from Brookfield, Missouri, and so is it Chillicothe, right?
Yeah.
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 So
Moved when I was real young, but I still remember it well, and it's kind of crazy. I remember it being this dinky little town with 2,000 people.
it's
and
grown.
Yeah, and I mentioned it to people. I'm like, oh, you probably haven't heard of it, and then I forget. It's 15,000 people now. And
They
like,
still
oh,
have
yeah.
a Piggly Wiggly there, though.
Oh yeah, love the Piggly Wiggly, Wiggly, Hy-Vee.
Have you guys ever been to a Piggly Wiggly?
Oh, I'm sure I have.
You look like a guy that should go to a
Yeah,
Piggly
wiggle,
Wiggly.
wiggle, wiggle.
That's right. But no, and so Neil came into the car business 19, worked under us. So he followed me from Chillicothe to Springfield somehow. Okay. Not only that, he leaves the car business. Okay. And I look out my back door and he's stepping out his front door one day.
Yeah, you guys, you know what that's called, right?
What is that?
Almost a marriage.
Well, it's called stalking. I think it's stalking.
Yeah.
Is it? No.
You were there first.
So tell me
Every
this.
time,
Let
I
me ask
suppose.
you this: car business to insurance. What did you learn in the car business that's helping you become successful in the insurance business? Or what do you think? What do you think is the main thing that you need to learn in doing that, I guess, and being successful?
I think the biggest thing is, and you've kind of hit this hard with what you guys are doing here, is taking care of people. I think that's in a business ownership standpoint, not necessarily industry to industry. I mean, it's an important trait in general, but if you're going to own a business of any kind and you want it to be around for the rest of your life and not just for the next few years, I think taking care of people is the biggest thing you can do.
Yeah.
You got to know what you're doing. It's hard to take care of people if you don't know what you're selling, what you're offering people. And so I'm a bit of a nerd. I probably explain policies a little bit too in the weeds than most people would care to. Most people don't really care how the watch is made, but I do. It makes me feel better if I know my clients have at least a basic understanding of what.
It's like what we're trying to teach Brad between a product presentation and non.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. When you actually go over the car and share the car with somebody.
Well,
Right.
but I'll tell you, I think Neil has a better way of putting it in layman's terms so people can understand. Brad does not. So
We're just
poking.
we are hammering on Brad today, but we better get off that. So
Yeah. Well, Matt started. He started picking on him before the show, and then I kind of got my blood thumping there for a minute.
well, I'll tell you this. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Yep, that went right in there. Good
Right in
job.
the breadbasket.
Right in.
That's all right. He
So-
brought another one to throw at you.
Between the numbers.
Yeah, let's see if I can catch this
There you go.
off the backboard. No, I think, one of the reasons we like bringing everybody on is talking about, hey, you learn so much in the car business. I mean, that it can you can take that to any other business and be successful, but it comes down to taking care of people. It all comes down to taking care of people, developing your people, taking care of people. We've talked about this for now 5-6 weeks, and you agree with that, right? I mean, you
Absolutely.
think that it's just.
I mean, there's obviously a handful of other things that
Sure.
you gotta have a certain level of, competency with, and you gotta have the work ethic. Anything's not gonna
Right.
work with that, but yeah, I mean, assuming you have the obvious traits,
The will to get up off the couch and do something about it.
yeah,
Right.
that is tough. Being self-employed, that is a
Hey,
tricky part.
I guarantee you, I got
gotta
some
hold yourself
chuckles out
accountable.
of that on this whole deal. But I'm telling you, I still don't think America's completely woke up after COVID, man.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I know people that are just sitting around wasting good talent on the couch.
I watched a video this morning, it was a little reel of Andy Elliott, and I love that guy. A lot of people think he's too far in your face, but I like the guy. I like the guy because he'll just call you out. And everybody knows, by the way, I've lost 12 pounds. Okay, you guys ought to be thankful for that. I'm trying to lose some weight. But he's got this guy, and he talks to him. He goes, let me ask you a question. He goes, you get up at 5 o'clock and work out? The guy's like, yeah, no. He goes, why not? He goes, because I don't get up till 8. He goes, up till 8? You're not committed to getting better. You got to commit. You're not if you can't commit to get up at 5 in the morning to get better. You're not going to commit at 8. You're not going to commit at 9. You're not going to commit at 10. And that's what we're talking about. Is you got when you go out on your own, and that's the thing about the car business. You're commission sales, right? Even in all the way up, you're always commission sales. Even when you're a general manager, yeah, you're getting paid a salary. It's a small salary, but you're still commission sales, right? And so if you don't sit there and get up and work, the sky's the limit as far as how much money you can make in anything. You can if you wanted to triple your sales, you could triple your sales. You just got to put some more effort into it. Am I right? Am I wrong?
No, not at all. It's
You
like
know,
what our mentor used to say is your raise will become effective when you do.
Right, 100%.
So
100%. So
still rings true
But
in my industry now.
Yeah. So it's I love bringing guys on like Neil and stuff, and we're talking about, hey, because we all knew each other. How long ago was this?
When we worked together,
Yeah, you were at the
Oh,
Chevy store.
shoot.
Too.
5-6 years ago.
Yeah, and then you worked over at Toyota. How long? 10, 15 years ago.
Well, he worked.
No, that
I'd
was-
been there a great while before he came
Yeah.
along.
I started at Toyota in 2015.
Okay.
Left in
20
2019.
So
I
so
think.
10 years basically. We'll round it up a little bit. 9-10 years.
Yeah.
Look how far you've come in 9 and 10 years.
Yeah.
Man, he's got a brand new. He's got a brand new office too. He just
Yeah.
upgraded his office. You're the only one in there now, right? You were sharing with somebody.
Yeah, I
now
was
you're not.
sharing to save money, and then finally made the leap into having my own space, and it's awesome.
So how do they get a hold of you? Do you have a website? If somebody wanted to.
Yeah, I mean that's actually kind of cool. We have a new system called Bookings. That's not our system, but if you go to countryfinancial.com/Neil.Breting, somewhere around here.
Country Financial.
Neil, by the way, is Neal. Breting is Breting. If you go to that, it's just kind of my portion of the corporate website, and as soon as you get there, there's a little green box that says schedule a meeting.
Now,
It's
click on that.
breeding, not breeding. By the way, everybody wants to say breeding.
Yeah.
So
It's
let me
pronounced
ask you
like
this.
there's two T's.
All right, there you go. Let me ask you this, because there's a lot of car guys. We've found out that we think the whole town of Springfield car guys watch this podcast, which we're happy for,
Yeah.
and Nixa. But the one thing we always run into is someone doesn't have insurance, or they want to know how much insurance is on a car. So let's say that if there's a salesman out there that needs insurance or something pretty quick to roll a deal, right? Can they call you up and you can quote them, or what?
Yeah.
What can you get insurance pretty quick with them? I know you need to have the money down, but what do they need to do to get the coverages so they can roll a deal?
If you got somebody with no insurance that's needing to get some started, I would just need maybe a picture of their driver's license is going to give me 80% of what I need. The VIN number to the car that they're buying, and
so they don't have to come in and see you or anything. You can do this remotely and quote
all
them.
over the phone. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, and that's for you. I mean, that's pretty much any time, right? And of course, no one's going to call you at 2 in the morning. You're not gonna answer
sure.
the
If you
phone.
guys come to the auto parlor, make sure you get a hold of Matt or I so that we can get your driver's license. The other
Right.
guy that's here, he's
Here
not
we
very
go.
good at that.
But okay, so what I'm trying to do is make it, because that was one of the most frustrating things is when people come in, they buy a car, right, and they don't have insurance. You're like, okay, hey, the law, you got to have insurance on the car, especially
It's
if you have a
empty.
loan. And there it goes. Okay, so that's pretty easy to get a hold of, and you'll help them to deliver the
yeah.
car. Okay.
Yeah, 5-10
What
minute
about
conversation.
what about home insurance and stuff like that? How does that work? There's absolutely no talent in that throw.
This is a bad throw.
That was
and
a
bad
horrible
catch.
throw.
Oh my gosh!
What are you
I've been watching the Chiefs receivers all year long.
Dude, that was no Ozzie Smith. That was no Ozzie Smith right there. He would have
gosh.
grabbed that ball and
No
wow.
kidding.
Huh?
So baseball, he's actually. That's funny you said that because Neil's a huge baseball fan too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have
So-
any tickets to any Royals or Cardinals or anything?
Well, I was going to say, unlike Kyle, I'm a big fan of both Kansas City teams. Kyle, for whatever reason, just likes the team that can't seem to
Win?
make it to the big one.
No, they can't. They can't win.
They
Can't win
made
the
it
big
to the
one.
big
They
one.
can. They can.
They made
they
it to
can-
the big one.
Well, they've never.
We're going to
opened-
open this can of worms.
Yeah. Kyle's struggling with opening up the can now.
No, I'm
Oh,
not.
don't open
I'm
it.
not opening it
That
up.
would be. No, I think you need to open it.
You're going to get a big
Open
old
the
bill from this guy.
You know, I thought he'd sit there. You guys see me catch this stuff all the time. You think it'd just be easy, but
Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna make the highlight reels.
no, we're gonna have that on the old reel.
So my wife was making fun of me because she told me, she said, Kyle, should you really have Coke Zero on the show? And I said, well,
Well, they're a sponsor.
I said, I'm thirsty. She goes, I'm pretty sure. I said, I'm pretty sure that you have to get permission from Coca-Cola showing their can. I'm like,
If
I'm
they
on a
saw how much
podcast.
the walrus drank the Cokes, they'd be fine. Trust me. I can down that thing in 2.3 seconds.
you can't even see it. His hand's so big.
Right,
that
I just
covers
do
the
this.
Coke can.
Whoa.
So I'm not here to promote Coke in any form or fashion. Okay, I do like Coke Zero. Okay,
I don't know, but the guy that invented water might be upset too. You tell her that? 'Cause we've been drinking
Yeah.
water all day long.
the
Price
price
cutter.
cutter guy
Hey, sorry,
Price
guy.
cutter's coming after us.
No, don't mean to be drinking your water
without permission.
without permission.
So I guess if it comes down
Now,
to
you know
it,
what's nice is our wives don't watch these shows whatsoever at all.
oh, mine does.
Oh, we're in trouble.
Because I got the AirPlay thing on the MacBook,
Oh,
and
snap.
every once in a while I actually shut our TV off and start streaming it over there, and then I'm sitting in my office going, "Why can't I watch the podcast?" So
Well, we'll have to keep that one from her.
if Coke gets mad though, I'll tell you what, I'll just switch to Pepsi.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, no one drinks Pepsi, so you're fine.
So
That was almost an issue.
Yeah, close. Close. So,
The old 3-tap rule.
well, this has been a pretty good little talk today, hasn't it been? I don't know how long we've been talking, but we've got some more. We got 15 more minutes of this podcast. So let's talk today. Let's do this real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
The auction today. What'd you think? I mean, we went there today. We actually spent a lot of time because we've got we're in a market right now to where we're actually our return on investment was 300 and something % last month. So we need some more cars. So we're in the process of upping our inventory. So we looked at what 25 cars. Wouldn't you say? I mean, we looked at
Well,
hundreds
I mean,
of cars, but we had 25 cars we identified to buy.
yeah.
About $300,000 worth. Right, we're going to buy today, and so we did our research, looked at it and stuff. The market was nuts today.
Oh, it was crazy.
It was absolutely. We were off $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and it's just absolutely crazy. Now we did we did buy a couple vehicles. I think that we're gonna but we'll be fine then. But it takes we had to have some patience. But the market. So what's that tell you? So then I learned today. I think did they lower the rates? Are they going to lower mortgages or something? Mortgage rates, I think, are going to start going down.
I read something yesterday saying they're saying that it may not.
May not. Okay, so
at all this year.
Well, I'm thinking
who would even know anymore?
Right.
I mean, jeez.
Nobody.
Well, what they're going to do is they're going to lower it and raise it the next day. Lower it.
I'll keep some of those comments into my personal life.
But here's the thing, though. What's good is for car dealers is that with the market going up, okay, that's good for car dealers. It's not good for the consumer. What they need to do is get their rear ends in the dealer. You need to start buying some cars because you guys are gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for the next, the wait for the car. The market's going up now. I think that's because the used car market, is just it's you don't have as many used cars as you had in the past because of COVID, like what you said. But that should be leveling itself out here pretty soon.
It's nuts to me to watch this. I mean, you can almost watch the market. I don't know how it is in insurance. I'm sure there's you guys have some kind of statistic deal you look at on a daily basis.
Loss ratios.
Right.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, well,
speaking of that, how are your loss ratios? I mean,
obviously they're big because insurance companies keep jacking crap up.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's from a.
Are you seeing a trend right now? Are you seeing a trend nationwide where they're?
Oh yeah, I mean it's not really slowing down on our end, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The problem we've got is claims are just happening at an all-time high rate. The weather's been crazy. Just a fun fact about country, and the specifics on this might be a little off, but it was about I think 3 of the 10 worst storm incidents have happened in the last 10 years for country.
Really?
It's been 5 years. 5 years. It was 3 of the top 10 worst, dollar amount wise, claims or storms that have caused a lot of claims from the same storm. 3 of the worst 10 in the last 5 years.
Really?
Been in business 99 years.
And they've been in business for 100 years. So
that's even adjusting for inflation too.
So that's so you would consider a storm, right? It's a natural act of God or whoever you believe in, right? But it just naturally happens, right? Nobody knows that a storm's going to happen, right? And in your business, that affects what's going to happen next, right? And your company's been around for 99 years. So eventually they're going to have to make some adjustments because they've got these loss ratios to go in.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean it's insane the amount of money that every single insurance company is losing right now.
So what's your average loss ratio? I mean, what is it as far as cars? Do they even tell you that type of stuff? Like
Auto insurance is actually the biggest loser.
So are they losing like? Is there? I guess I'm asking from a car guy's perspective. Is the average loss 20,000 cars or less? I mean, is it just a rate? It's just they don't look at that.
It's a little all over. I don't know the specific dollar amounts on those. I just know from a profit and loss standpoint, with all the different products that Country offers, I do know that auto insurance is far and away their biggest loser.
So is most of it
money on
is
auto
most
insurance.
of it from delinquent loans that have gone back and stuff, or what's
No, this is just claims.
That's insane.
So do you think
Simply claims.
So you think Country Financial would be like, hey, we're going through this unprecedented time. In 100 years,
let's lower rates.
we've never witnessed anything. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start cutting how many employees we have.
You're asking if I think
I know
Country would
exactly.
do that?
Yeah.
I know where he's going with this, folks. Wiggle.
Not at all. So yeah, no. Short answer, no. They do not do that, and they're not. Luckily for clients, they're not denying claims.
So they're not taking an unprecedented event and pushing it on the people that have brought them 100 years worth of business.
Passing along the burden. No, they're not.
Right. They just said, hey, that's part of business. We're going to get through it and drive on, right?
Yep.
See, that's a company I like.
Yep.
What do you mean?
Can you be more specific?
I just
Where are you going with this one, Kyle?
I
need more.
I am on a soapbox right now, so I will calm down. I'm just gonna say that,
Can I give you an idea where I think you're going?
yeah, you can give me an idea.
Okay, would it be corporate America.
Well,
Some of the corporate America teams.
It would be very, very close to corporate America. If not, it would be corporate America's twin.
All right. So what he's referring to, Neil, if nobody got this, okay, is that during a COVID event, we had some companies that were cutting employees to save the bottom line, and made some bad decisions in his mind, in my mind. I agree with him too. I think made some poor decisions. You have these employees out here that are. And I think they're out there busting their tails to help you successful. I'm gonna tell you what they did. What they did is they're like, hey, we're gonna use this as a reason to cut the fat, and then we'll hire back who we want, and we're gonna run it lean and mean.
And not only that, okay. And I'll only talk about my particular area, which would be vehicle sales, right? During this COVID period, most dealers profited more profit than they've ever imagined.
Every business did.
Off of any vehicle. They were, if you guys remember just 2 or 3 years ago, it hadn't even been that long since it stopped. Dealers were charging people crazy things like $5,000 over to order a new car,
Adjusted market
right?
value.
Just at market value. I saw crazy things on the internet where they had recon. They charge a customer recon costs. Right?
Well, here we talked about this. I don't know who I was talking to about this. It was earlier today. It was you. You and I were having this conversation, okay? And we're going to call some people out, okay? So I don't agree with, and I think it's bad business to sit there. You go on a new car lot, all right? You'll see an addendum on a car, right? And the addendum says warranty, or it says etching, or it says glass tint, or it says whatever, right? So you have an advertised price of $16,995, and then they advertise it everywhere, and then you walk into the store, and all of a sudden now you have $2,000, $3,000 worth of ads on the car. I saw it at the auction today, and then you tell the customer, hey, you know what? Our price was $16,900, but it's really $19,995, right? Yeah. And it's optional, but it's not optional, right? It takes Here's the deal. This is why we've got bad leaders and bad management and people making bad decisions. They've gotten weak. Okay, They don't get off their ass and go out there and help teach them.
Extra, sell it.
Right, sell it. Go out there and say, hey, here's the car, and you sit there and sell it. I mean, sit out there and say, hey, this is the price of the car. We're going to show you the benefits of all those packages have a benefit to them. I'm not sitting there saying that.
The only thing wrong with the service contract is usually the guy that's explaining it.
Right. Yeah. And then you go from there. We have trained society today to sit there and lay down and not do anything. And COVID did that. COVID, and everybody took advantage of that. Hey, we were part of it. And I'm not sitting there saying I'm just angel, whatever like that. But one of the reasons we walked away. I mean,
we didn't agree with it.
Right.
That's why we're talking about it now.
And it's just now with you, same thing. You don't do that. You came in and said, okay, we offer X, Y, Z. You don't really need this. This is really what you need to do. Let's bundle this together. It's your best bet. I can save you more money here and give you a better coverage. That's the way it should be. That's the way America should be. And this stuff that's going on is just greed to me. It's just, and then you get the employees, right? You get the employees, you know, they're the ones that have to go out there and pitch it. They don't feel comfortable with it. While the guy in the back's high-fiving the dude for selling it, right? Because, oh yeah, that's great. Look, it worked, right? Because you sat there and you made somebody do something that they shouldn't have done, right? I mean, I don't like that. I mean, that's why I gotta, you know, I don't think you should.
Well, when's enough, right? You're only hurting everybody, right? So if your company went and they got rid of, you know, half of their people to make up for the loss ratio, or they started jacking up, you know, they said, well, here's the deal. You guys have to sell this extra product to make X amount of more dollars to cover that loss ratio. I mean, how do you think your customers or the people that work for you feel?
It takes a huge shot to your credibility.
Well, here, I'll tell you one of the biggest things that turned him and I off. And I'm going to say it. I don't care. Okay, there is a customer, because it's wrong and it needs to be brought out. And I'm not going to say names or anything like that or what company. But anyway, here we have a couple that comes in and buys a car, right? They buy a car, they buy a certified vehicle. They go through the business office and they wrap, as they should, as I highly recommend. You need to put a service contract on anything that you purchase. I agree. I think you need to do that. Been 25 years. I'm doing it on every car I buy. They put a wrap. They wrap the car. Now in the car business, and the reason these warranty companies do the first 30 days after you buy a car, anything that goes wrong is on the dealership. People don't know that. It's not on the warranty company. It's on the dealership on most ones except Alpha, the one that we have.
We do day one coverage.
We do day one coverage. Yes, it costs more for us. We don't pass that cost on to the customer, but yes, it costs more, but they're covered from day one. So this lady's, what happened to the tracks and then their turbo go out or something like that? Mm-hmm. Their turbo goes out on this car, okay? They've had it 2 weeks. We wouldn't back it. We were actually told by upper management to collect a check from the customer, which they did. They paid for it themselves, right? They paid it for themselves. That we wouldn't cover it. Our car goes through service. We miss the turbos or whatever happened with it. Car breaks down within 2 weeks, and we make the consumer pay for it. When they purchase an extended service policy to cover it, I'm out. That is completely wrong. And the person that sat there and made that decision to do that deal shouldn't be where he's at. Okay, he just shouldn't. It's greedy. It's uncalled for, and it's out of line.
Well, you were an F&I.
What they should have done, what we should have done, is either buy the car back, which is what we'll do here, right? We'll either buy the car back, or we're going to fix it. And we have a customer right now that one of the first customers we sold here bought a Cadillac. Mm-hmm. It's been a month, right? And they've had problems with their cruise control. They didn't buy an extended service policy. We offered one for him. They turned it down. He came in here a couple days after he purchased it, and said the cruise control doesn't work. Well, out of good faith, okay, we told him together, says, hey, we're going to fix it. He goes, you know how much that costs? I said, we don't care. I said, we're not going to sell cars that way. If we can't fix it, we'll buy the car back, okay, or we're going to, something major like now. We're not going to go out there and start fixing everybody. You can't come in here and say, it's been 3 years and my tires are bald. Okay, that ain't going to happen.
But it was something we truly missed, right?
Yeah,
okay, so
I drove the car and never checked the cruise control.
Sure.
We had a mechanic drive it. I drove it. He drove it. But we were never out on a long distance enough to know that the cruise control wasn't working. And he came back in. That's an important feature when you're buying that style of
that level of vehicle.
Well, any vehicle. That's what I don't understand is I get profit's important. I get that you go into business to have profit. But you're talking about a business that we were working for, one of the most wealthiest human beings on the planet.
Right.
Okay. That I guarantee you, if he would have found out about that, he wouldn't have let that happen. But it's pressure in our business about the numbers instead of taking care of the customer. That what these general managers, these partners, these managers, these GSMs, these employees make bad decisions because of the pressure of I got to hit a number, and then if they would just take care of the customer, the numbers will be there. And it's just frustrating. It was frustrating for me personally.
I feel like I'm going to put a lot of, like, when Brecken edits this deal, I'm going to have like this, and there's going to be those little 100 symbols right above your head.
Right. Ding,
I
ding.
100% agree with it.
Well, it's just, I don't know, we kind of get on our soapbox each podcast about the concept of corporate America versus what we're doing. And I will tell you today for the first time, we did have a customer say, hey, I've watched your podcast. And we said we're never going to go buy a car from a dealership until we watched your podcast, and we want to buy one from you because you guys sound like you're honest. Well, we are honest, and yeah, it does hurt to sit there and pay a $2,000 bill on a car deal that on a car because you made a mistake with a consumer. Yeah, it's not a fun thing to do, but my goodness gracious, how can someone honestly say you have a customer that buys an extended service policy, the car breaks down in 2 weeks?
Not even that.
Okay. In a specific, whatever, 2 weeks, and we make them pay for the repair out of their pocket when they're covered.
Yeah.
Because the dealership manager, right, didn't want his numbers to look bad. That's just, to me.
Well, it's like what we talked about. I mean, it might help with the numbers that month, that day, whatever it is. But what you guys did with that Cadillac, that guy's going to go tell his friends.
Sure.
He's going to buy his next car.
Which is
Already
what
have.
they did.
And
she got us a trip to Fiji.
right.
Well, she didn't get us a trip. She was helping with
I
the
know.
trip.
So yeah, that $2,000
I was
bill,
trying to call her out there. Okay.
trying to manifest something
100%.
here. So that $2,000 bill sucks, but you're going to get it back and then some, and you're going to be able to sleep at night too. I mean,
Well, I think that's with COVID and stuff, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's I don't know what's happened. It's like people have just gotten so greedy with, I've got to make money, right? And make all this money and just make all these bad decisions.
Well, they high five over a dollar amount and not having a new customer in their pipeline, which is odd to me because if you have a customer in your pipeline and you're doing it right, they will forever, ever, ever be your customer, and they will send you people, and it pays more money than you'll ever make on one car deal. I promise you.
everybody hates buying a car. If
Right.
they find somebody that they like buying a car from, they're not going to go find somebody else next time.
Well,
Think about the amount of business I send this guy, right? And I have other guys I train that's in the
nobody
insurance
likes
business.
to buy. No one likes to buy anything when they feel like they're being sold.
Right.
Everybody likes to buy something when they're having fun and they feel like that you're telling them the truth, and you're getting a product presentation. I'm not looking at Brad.
He's not looking at Brad. I promise he's not.
No, but you know what I'm saying? But it's and he does a great job. We're just teasing him.
He wouldn't work here if he didn't.
Right. So it's just I don't know. I don't know why I'm on this soapbox on this deal. It just irks me
Because you're seeing my new safe out of the corner of your eye.
No.
I bought that from a kid yesterday off of Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah,
He got it for Christmas one time, and
Yeah, Christmas present or something.
it's
He
one
was
of
a
those
raffle.
unwanted presents. So
Yeah, it's a $500 save. What did we pay? $150.
$150 for it.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
that's an appreciation gift right there.
Yes.
Just keeps on giving. So anyway, but my point to that is, I guess I'm upset about it because I'm not trying to hate on anybody. I'm really not. I'm angry about this the industry and where it's gone with since for a while. And the car business has always had a bad rap, right? Because it's all, people. You can make a good living doing anything, but you make a good living in the car business if you just take care of people.
And be honest.
And being honest, you don't have to sit there and sell your soul for $1 to get a title.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these guys do that. And it's upsetting. And then you see a lot of these guys, those guys move up faster too. That's one
So
thing.
you guys have so you got future plans adding some employees?
Yeah. The new space has. We'll each have a part-time of Brad.
Right.
I'll
Oh,
get some
really?
Brad coupons over at the office.
Well, the way he's going to have, he doesn't get driver's license and stuff. We'll probably have to have him fill out the paperwork at your office. Brad, you lost another one?
But anyway, no. There's going to be 2 spots where I'm going to have try to find some people that love taking care of people like we're talking about, that would enjoy doing what I do without the pressure of business ownership, because it is a lot, and there's obviously more pros than cons in my opinion. That's why I do it. But for somebody that's just looking for a little bit more of a steady income, I'll be looking for people probably in the next 6 months actually.
Well, that's great.
Should have an assistant here within a couple of months as well.
So you're growing.
Yeah, for sure. And that was the biggest thing about the office. I was kind of putting it off because I had a good situation where I was at, was saving money, but you can't just grow if you're sitting still.
He's got to grow because, like you and like he has a little girl, and she's growing. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure her tastes are getting expensive.
I was going to say she starts cheerleading class week after next,
Yes.
and I've heard that's a bit of a financial commitment if she ends up.
Dude, anything is in there. They got
Taking
these
to
traveling baseball teams. You're going to go to Japan and play.
Oh shit, yeah.
So Willow's doing this thing right now where she wants to go outside all the time. I love her to death, right? She wants to go outside. So my wife says to me, Kyle, we have either got to get an in-ground trampoline or a play set. Willow wants to go outside all the time. I said, we have a swimming pool out back. Is that not enough? So I think I'm going to have to break down and bite the bullet and either get an in-ground trampoline
Can I
or
tell-
this
no,
playhouse.
and there's no or. You're going to have both.
You think?
Before the end of the summer, I guarantee you, you'll have both. And being a father,
We'll be hanging out at your house.
100%. Now make sure that trampoline doesn't have a weight limit on it.
Get you one of those Olympic ones.
I want to sunbathe on
Matt
that
and I
bad
can jump
boy.
on it.
We'll have you doing the polar plunge in the pool.
Yeah. It's the walrus. Why is he flopping around on that trampoline? He's trying to get a tan, honey.
Oh, gosh.
Well, I mean, this has been a great one today. I think we kind of ruffled some feathers again, but it is
Nothing
what
wrong
it
with
is. Yeah, it is what it is.
I guess we're going to have to rename the show to Fed Up or something like that.
No, it's just, you know what? The public need to hear this stuff. And then they do. They need to see that it's not all, it's not all rosy. You walk in and these guys are whacking people and doing like they think they're doing. It's really not. But
man, I think what we're just trying to shed some light on there, help some people that are already in the business, right? And here, we're sitting across from you, but we were a part of that Ponzi scheme type
100%.
thing that we were doing, right?
100%.
But it was the way we were collecting it. I'll tell you, first thing, I walked up to him when that situation happened about the older folks. And I looked him in the eye and I said, I'm done, man. That was my last straw. And he knew. Because I had 3 other situations prior to that I didn't agree with. And
it all happened on this. But here's the deal. Go back to culture. It's the same guy. It's the same culture. So when you have a leader who believes in one way and he's the leader, whatever his culture is what his culture is going to be. And his culture is I will sell everything I have to do to be successful. There's no, in my opinion, I mean, this is my opinion strictly, but there's none of this, hey, employees come first or customers come first. It's I. And he looks at that, that person looks at that bottom line. That's all he cares about.
So success like across the nation, just a dollar amount? Because, I mean.
In his eyes, yes.
Okay. Because success to me is a complete different thing. I look at money as a tool.
Right.
Right? Money's a tool.
Correct.
Time is the paycheck.
And some people's are tools too.
Yeah.
Two different meanings.
You guys have any closing argument? How'd you enjoy being on the?
I don't think I can argue anymore.
It was great. Loved it.
I get a little.
I'm not sure what I expected.
I get a little emotional, man.
You guys
Get all fired up.
You guys stay tuned and plugged in because they just keep getting better as we do them. So
100%. Next week I'm gonna bring my throwing axe. Start throwing some stuff.
Yeah. If he shows up in Army gear, I'm not coming on the show.
Yeah. So. Put that gun away. It's not loaded, sir.
But everybody out there, thank you for watching the podcast this week. We'll see you next week. Go out and kill it. Make as much money as you possibly can and support the people you love.
Yep. Peace.